Alex Ovechkin burst onto the scene in the 2005-2006 NHL season. Just by looking at highlights from his very first game, you could see he was something special. He could hit, he could score, and he was having fun. In that first season, he had 52 goals and won the Calder Trophy for top rookie. I have followed his career closely and can't deny that Alex Ovechkin is an exceptional talent, but I never took it seriously when people said he was the greatest goal scorer ever. He sure knew how to score highlight reel goals. With his powerful but less than perfect skating stride, he can put defensemen on their heels and weave his way through. He can finish in tight on goalies, and when there's a chance to score around the net, he finds a way to get the puck in. But just because he can score a handful of amazing goals doesn't mean he can score 893 times. I had always been told that Gretzky's records were untouchable. His 51-game point streak, his 10 hat-tricks in one season, his 215 points in one season, his 2,856 total career points, his 163 assists in one season, his 92 goals in one season, and most notably, his 894 career goals. I especially thought these records were untouchable because of the differences in goal scoring from the era that Gretzky played in compared to our current era that Alexander Ovechkin is playing in. While Gretzky was playing, teams averaged close to 4 goals per game. But while Ovechkin has been in the league, teams have averaged well under 3 goals per game. How can Ovechkin compete with someone who played in an era where goal scoring was up 27%? I mean, just watch the goalies in these highlights of Gretzky's goals. There's no comparison to what shooters are up against in today's game. I thought there was no way Ovechkin could get the goal scoring record, and as a Penguins fan, I've mainly seen Ovechkin as a rival that I didn't want to succeed. But as he started passing some of the all-time greats on the goal scoring list, I decided I should look at the stats and analyze his play style to see if the media hype around him catching Gretzky was realistic or not. Let's start by looking at the current generation of players in the league. Ovi has played with some other exceptional talents, such as Patrick Kane, Evgeny Malkin, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Sidney Crosby. I've always considered it to be a bit of a stretch when people would try and compare him to Crosby. After all, Crosby was able to rack up almost identical point totals, while also leading his team to 3 Stanley Cups and his country to 2 gold medals. Let's look closely at how Ovechkin compares to all other active players in the league. On this graph, the top 300 goal scorers are each represented with a dot. Let's start by looking at some of the new players that are trending higher than their peers in goals. Notice Austin Matthews has 259 goals in 407 games played. Connor McDavid has 239 goals in 487 games played. And Pastrnak and Draisaitl also have pretty impressive stats. Then if we look to players that have been in the league a little bit longer, we see Stamkos standing out with 481 goals in 922 games played, Malkin with 444 goals in 981 games played, Patrick Kane with 430 goals in 1,107 games played, and Sidney Crosby with 517 goals in 1,108 games played. But how does Ovechkin's goal scoring compare to these amazing players? We have to scroll way up on the graph to find him. Nobody playing in today's NHL comes even remotely close to accomplishing what Ovi has done. He has amassed 780 goals in 1,274 games played. 780. Now let's take a look at, over Ovechkin's 17 NHL seasons, how his shots taken and goals scored have compared to his peers. Each of the top 300 goal scorers is represented with a dot. Pay close attention to Ovechkin, who is in red, as we progress through the years. Notice that each year, Ovi is at or near the top of both shots taken and goals scored. This consistency is unmatched. Throughout his career, he has won 9 Rocket Richard trophies. It might be worth noting that Gretzky only had 5 goal-scoring titles. So will he catch Gretzky? Let's look at how he has climbed the list of all-time goals scored. At the start of his career, catching the likes of Gretzky, Howe, and Dion may have seemed impossible for anyone. But with his rate of scoring staying at a high rate, over the last few years, Ovi has passed Yzerman, Messier, Gartner, Esposito, Dion, Hall, and Jágr. 114 goals is all he needs to catch Gretzky. Now let's take a look at how he scored these milestone goals. Goal 693 to pass Yzerman, he shows he's willing to be F1 in the zone and demonstrates good anticipation to jump on the loose puck and capitalize. Goal 695 to pass Messier, he scores on an open net. Goal scorers get very excited anytime the other team pulls their goalie, and Ovechkin thrives on capitalizing on the empty net. Goal 709 to pass Mike Gartner, Ovechkin scores with a quick wrist shot right off the faceoff. Ovechkin is great at taking advantage of the space he gets while lining up for a faceoff. Races to the puck, lets go his shot before anyone can get close enough to him to defend him. Goal 718 to pass Esposito is a classic Ovi one-timer. He always seems to get open and connect on one-timers from that Ovi spot. I'm convinced he doesn't worry too much about where the shot's aimed, he just lets the curve on his stick fool the goalies time and time again. Goal 732 to pass Marcel Dionne, Ovechkin once again shows his great offensive instincts to jump behind the defense and finish with a nice move to the backhand in tight. Goal 742 to pass Brett Hull is another quick release from the Ovi spot that fools the goalie like so many of his shots do. Goal 767 to pass Jágr is another quick release right off the faceoff. Gets the shot off too quick and goalies just can't get a read of the puck when it's coming off his stick. You can tell that these milestone goals mean a lot to Ovi and his teammates. So how and when will Ovi get the 114 more goals he needs? He probably has 3 or 4 more productive seasons in him. Looking at this scatter plot, we can predict what he might be able to score in those upcoming years. It is quite possible that he scores close to 40 in each of the next 3 seasons. Let's look at where that puts him on the list. He moves to first overall with 899 goals, and that's with him only playing 3 more seasons. He'll play a 4th if he needs to. Do I think he'll continue at that pace of 40 goals per season? We might expect a little bit more of a regression in goal scoring as he winds down his career, as we have seen with some of the other greats on the top 10 list. This line graph shows how all of the other greats have slowed their pace in the last few seasons of their careers, and maybe we'll see a bit of that with Ovi, but it just doesn't seem to be trending that way yet. If we look at this bar graph comparing goals scored by season for Ovechkin and Gretzky, notice that Gretzky is in blue and Ovechkin is in red. For the first 8 seasons of their careers, Gretzky has the clear edge. But if we look at seasons 9 through 17, you can see that Ovechkin has clearly outpaced the Great One. And what makes this more impressive is that Ovi has had to deal with lockdown-shortened seasons because of COVID, which has given him fewer games to score goals in. It's difficult to compare players who played at different times in the league, but if we look at how the greatest goal scorers have racked up their goals throughout the seasons they have played, you can see that Ovi has been challenging Gretzky all along, and as we get closer to season 17, he starts to close in on Wayne. If we continue beyond season 17, Ovechkin hasn't played any more games, but you can see by how Gordie Howe and Jágr move up the list that there can still be productivity at the end of a player's career. Ovi very clearly loves to score goals, and he has the record in his sights. He wants it, and I'm confident he's going to get it. He quite simply knows how to score goals better than anyone else that has ever played. Even just by analyzing his record-setting goals, we can see he's more than just a one-timer specialist. He just finds ways to score, either off of face-offs in the empty net, by burning defensemen wide, and then driving the net. He's able to create his own goals and doesn't always rely on someone setting him up. Let me finish the video with my prediction on when he will pass 892 goals. Based on the quadratic regression model, which is a very high R-squared value, it'll be near the end of his 20th season. However, I think his pace will slow and he'll put up closer to 30 goals each of the next 2 seasons. If I predict this, the model shows that it will take until during his 21st season. Whenever it actually happens remains to be seen, but the next 3 to 5 years of hockey in the NHL will be dominated by this storyline, and I hope Ovi gets the credit and recognition he deserves.